This is The Brief on The Great Ruler, Episode 31. Okay, so picture this. We're jumping into a really intense combat competition in The Great Ruler. It's where they test out the new disciples, you know? And the results? They could seriously shake things up for everybody involved. First off, you've got this guy, Chen. He's just a new disciple, right? But somehow, he's become the absolute key player here. It's kind of crazy. His fight? Well, everything hangs on it. If he wins, everyone succeeds. He loses, they all fail. Talk about pressure. Second, there are 3 big matches going down. They're all about showing off different levels of spiritual power, what they call the Thongtian stage or heavenly stage. Now, the first 2 fights, pretty evenly matched, you know, with heavy hitters like Lin Jiezing and Chen Chengxing. But Chen's match, totally different story. He's facing Gu Tianyan, who's way more experienced and stronger. Big gap there. Finally, and this is where it gets wild, Chen pulls off something amazing. He actually builds 2 level 5 formations. Now, these are like super complex magical arrays, and level 5? That's seriously high-level stuff, especially for a newbie. He uses the Underworld Lotus and Hidden Moon formations, which takes incredible focus, something called the Mind-Eye Connection state. This double whammy forces Gu Tianyan, who's one of their realm's 3 great generals, basically a top leader, to use his ultimate defense, the Heavenly Scrawl Blazing Dragon Protection. And get this, Gu Tianyan still gets his arm temporarily injured and admits he just barely avoided defeat. Wow! So yeah, Chen's surprising power and smarts definitely turning heads and changing the game for this whole competition.
This is the brief on the climactic battle in The Great Ruler. Okay, so let's dive into a really pivotal moment from the popular fantasy series, The Great Ruler. We're talking about this intense clash, right? You've got our protagonist, Chen, formidable, yeah, at the Hao Tian stage. But he's facing Gu Tianyan, who's operating on a whole other level, the Tong Tian stage, significantly stronger. So everyone's kind of on edge, thinking, how on earth is Chen going to bridge that gap? What's his big plan? First off, Chen busts out his lightning god body. Now, you'd think that's big, but watchers, they were kind of underwhelmed. Felt like, it just wasn't going to cut it against Gu Tianyan's power. Maybe made Gu Tianyan underestimate him a little, though. Second, that's when Chen reveals his real ace. He detonates this mysterious black lightning bead inside himself. Sounds incredibly painful, right? And boom, total transformation. He's covered in this black liquid lightning, got these blood-red eyes just radiating destruction. Gu Tianyan, totally caught off guard. Chen starts dominating the close fight, shattering defenses, even makes the guy bleed. Absolutely astounding, everyone. Finally, it all comes to a head. Gu Tianyan, now playing for keeps, summons the Heavenly Fire Dragon Halberd. Think a massive spear engulfed in fire. Huge power. Chen counters, pulling out his own ultimate move, creating this illusion. Like a starry sky, and out come a white tiger and a black tortoise, ready to smash into Gu Tianyan's attack. Leaves you wondering what happens next. This battle just perfectly highlights Chen's calculated genius and his ability to flip the script, really showing his true immense potential.
This is the brief on the epic conclusion of the Great Ruler's battle. Okay, so picture this. We're jumping right into the explosive end of this, super important competition at a spiritual academy, where young magic users train. And there's this one huge battle. It's going to decide who gets this major power-up they've all been working towards all year long. First off, you've got this absolutely terrifying fight between our main guy, Chen, and his rival, Gu Tianyan. Seriously, the sky goes dark, energy storms everywhere, mountains are literally crumbling. Both of them end up totally battered, right? But Chen, even looking rough, he stands tall and pulls off this incredible win. Suddenly, bam, he's playing in the big leagues with the top students Shen Chongzang and Li Qiantong. Second, and this is kind of wild, there's this surprising surrender. You've got these other strong fighters, Rin Lang and Zhou Qinshang, and they just concede. They bow out to Shen Chongzang and Li Qiantong. Why? Well, it turns out it was actually super smart. It meant everyone on Chen's side got that vital energy boost without any more fighting. Pretty clever, huh? And finally, this really shows Chen's character. He, Shen Chongzang, and Li Qiantong all get this incredibly rare reward, right? A king-level Ling crystal. Think legendary artifact, massive power boost. But Chen, he's badly hurt. So he takes his crystal, merges it with another piece he had, makes a whole one, and then gives it away. He gives it to his close friend, Ruoli, putting her first. Wow. So yeah, Mu Chen's huge win and that selfless move, it cemented him as a legend and really brought home the win for his whole team.
This is the brief on The Great Ruler. All right, so we're diving into a slice from the anime The Great Ruler, right after this huge battle at the Beicheng Spiritual Academy. You know, that big school for cultivators. And let me tell you, what happens next really shakes things up for the top students. First off, you've got our main guy, freshman Mu Chen. He actually pulled off a surprise win against his rival, Gu Tianyan. This totally boosted his rep, putting him up there with big names like Shen Kangseng and Li Xuantong. But here's the kicker. He got seriously hurt, not really from the fight, but from using his own crazy, powerful, divine lightning art. It's intense stuff, but it messes you up inside. Thankfully, he's got Luo Li looking out for him, though she was pretty worried about him being so reckless. Second, things are changing for the top fighters. See, most students get this standard energy boost after the battle, kind of like a basic power-up. But Mu Chen, Shen Kangseng, Li Xuantong, and Luo Li, nope, they're getting a special, much stronger enhancement with help from the elders. And get this, the Academy rankings, the Great Heaven rankings, just got updated. Mu Chen jumped all the way to 3rd place, and Luo Li made a huge leap to 10th. Talk about climbing fast. And finally, it's not just about school stuff. There's this dangerous guy, Mo Longzi, who's been attacking students out training. He's now a major target, and Shen Kangseng and Li Xuantong are already planning to go after him. Meanwhile, Mu Chen's working on his own spiritual magic, this Ling array stuff, specifically the tricky heart-connecting eye state. Oh, and in a cool twist, his sister Sunner just got taken on as a student by a Ling array grandmaster. So everyone's kind of heading down different, exciting paths.
So yeah, from personal struggles to big threats and fresh starts, things are definitely getting interesting in The Great Ruler.
This is the brief on the Great Ruler, Mu Chen's unexpected challenge. So Mu Chen and Luo Lali head over to the Law Enforcement Hall at Beicheng Academy. A big deal on the Beicheng continent, right? They're thinking, okay, time for a power boost, but nope. They end up smack dab in the middle of something way bigger and, frankly, way more dangerous. First up, let's look at this Law Enforcement Hall. It's not your usual campus security, okay? This is Beicheng Academy's elite defense squad, made up of seriously skilled graduates, not students. Their job? Fighting off nasty stuff like evil entities. And who do Mu Chen and Luo Lali meet? Mua Yo, the boss there, and get this, one of the Academy's 5 super powerful Sky Elders. Big shots. They were just hoping for a regular power-up, you know? Second, things get wild. A really mysterious figure, Bei Ming, also called the Northern Sea Dragon, the Academy's protector, just shows up. And he drops a bombshell. Mu Chen's got this deadly, divine thunder poison inside him. Turns out, absorbing a divine thunder bead, this super rare volatile energy thing, yeah, it left this poison behind. Leave it untreated, and Mu Chen could literally crack apart and turn to ash. Even the absolute top-tier experts, the Zizan-level guys, would be terrified of that. And finally, we get this weird bargain and some insane training. Bei Ming's kind of impressed Mu Chen hasn't kicked the bucket yet, so he offers to fix the poison problem. But Mu Chen has to help him with something secret. No normal power boost here. Instead, Bei Ming drags Mu Chen to the deepest, scariest part of the Thunderbolt Zone, think endless black lightning, for this super risky power-up. Yeah, this feels way more like a forced deal hinting at Bei Ming's real hidden goals. So, Mu Chen's path? It's just taken a sharp, dangerous turn, tied up with this powerful Bei Ming and some secret mission he never saw coming.